Now we're going to move to the first session of the symposium. In this session, we're going to be hearing from a very diverse set of speakers. We have Dr. Xue Xian. She'll be talking about how to achieve sustainability in land degradation restoration, goals and principles. The moderator of the session is Dr. Rafael de Silveira Bueno. Dr. Rafael, are you online?
Yes, I'm here. Okay, Dr. Xian is a professor and the director of the Department of Desert and Desertification at the Northwest Institute of Eco-Environment and Resource of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Since 2010, she is leading the Salinization Research Station with the objectives of restore degraded drylands by integrating water management, sustainable agriculture, and biological techniques. Her main research interests are desertification and restoration, climate and environmental change in the drylands, and sustainable management of watersheds and agriculture. She has published over 150 research papers and books and has obtained 4 national and provincial awards. So, welcome, Dr. Xie, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank the Green Institute to give me the chance to share my work here. And my presentation today and have 3 parts. Firstly, I want to focus on the global challenge for achieving land degradation neutrality. As we know that there are different definitions of land degradation. The definition changes with human understanding and focus. For example, in 1994, the UNCCD considered land degradation to be the loss or reduction of land productivity due to climate variability and unreasonable human activities, mainly in drylands. That's desertification. But recently, the UNCCD had paid more attention to human-induced land degradation and extend it from dryland to the world. So the UNCCD indicates that human activities have attained 70% of ice-free land. The MEA, the other organizes and considers land degradation from the perspective of continuous reduction in the levels of all ecosystem service over an extended period. So we can say that land degradation is a global problem and can take place in any ecosystem. So therefore, land degradation neutrality becomes one of the sustainable development goals under the United Nations 2030 agenda. UNCCD first proposed the aim and defined the LDN as a state whereby the amount and quality of land resources necessary to support ecosystem functions and service to enhance food security remain stable or increase with specified temporal and spatial scales and ecosystems. So, but we can easily understand the conception of LDN from 3 aspects. They are avoiding new land degradation, reducing existing degradation, and restoring and retaining degraded lands. But the final aim is to keep 0 increase in degraded land area. This idea actually is based on offsetting mechanisms such as biodiversity and emission offsets. because we cannot hinder the degradation in some place, we must reverse some degraded lands at the other place to compensate for the loss in avoidable loss. So we need to know, but we need to know where the place the degradation can be reversed and can be reduced or avoided, and how to achieve the aim and keep the reverse or restoration sustainable. So according to the UNCCD website, we know more than 100 countries had already set their targets for LDN by 2015. I think many more countries are involved in the land degradation neutrality target setting program now. Some of them have already started the work, like mentioned in previously, and plantation in North Africa to form the Great Green Wall, and the Green Belt in Mongolia, and the Green Dream in Kubchi Desert of China. However, the data from the SDG show that the proportion of degraded land over the total land area keeps increasing. That means plantation afforestation in global scope has not achieved the expected results, at least not yet now. So how about 2030? Can the LDN be completed in 2030? Even if it's achieved, can the LDN maintain sustainability? And maybe we can put this question aside and move on the second point and about the sustainable aims to restore the degraded land. According to my understanding of degradation, it should the degradation should include three aspects. They are ecology, economy, and society. We know ecology means air, soil, water, and plants. Economy points to population and income, industry and education, infrastructure, resources and energy, communication and transportation. Society should be involves culture, tradition, nationality, religion, policy. But of course, I think many more factors should be included in the three aspects. Suppose degradation influence the three aspects, so I think the restoration cannot avoid them. Therefore, I have listed three main aims for restoring the degraded land. For ecology, we need to improve the land productivity. And for economy, we must eradicate poverty. And for society, we have to maintain the sustainability. So for the target one, sustainable degraded land restoration, and we have a principle one. So that's building a scientific assessment systems, because only by relying on scientific assessment systems, we don't know what kinds of land has been degraded and whether it can be restored or has been restored, and to what extent it can be restored. Such a system includes all aspects from these tables. We can see ecology and economy and society. It should be include all kinds of factors, not only vegetation coverage. So we from this we can return to the question we just raised initially and understand why afforestation alone is far from enough to sustainable restoration. So the principle two, and for the sustainability of degraded land restoration, and I point out evaluate the trend, not the state, because and only by understanding and predicting the development trend and direction, and can we correctly judge whether the degraded land has been restored. and to what extent, and whether its restoration is sustainable. It is impossible to draw a scientific conclusion by relying solely on the centers. For example, we have two pieces of moderately degraded land, and one piece might gradually recover, but the other may become increasingly degraded. If we just know the state, so we don't know what direction they develop, so we don't know how to restore them. So this is the second principle. So for the third principle for the sustainability, we must consider its a balance between livelihood improvement and land restoration. Without external support from the ecosystem, a degraded land or ecosystem cannot achieve consistent ecological, social, and economic improvements. In other words, it's necessary to sacrifice economic benefit to achieve environmental improvement or to exchange the land degradation for monetary benefits. So this happens especially in the early stage of land restoration. So we must make the right decisions and trade-off based on the situation and the early stage. So for the second target, improvement of land productivity, the first, we also three principles. The first principle is determine the improvement intensity based on carrying capacity and resilience at current or in the future. Because we cannot restore the degraded land to its original state due to climate, environmental already changed. So we must determine what state the land can recover, and based on the current carrying capacity, and including water, soil, and climate, not only vegetation coverage. So, for example, we cannot change the desert and steppe into forests because there is insufficient water to sustain the forest ecosystem. Actually, in many regions, especially in North China, and people like to plant and high density shrub or some trees in desert. So I don't think it's reasonable. And for the second principle is improving land management, include the regional level and the macro scale levels. And I think this is also very important. The regional level include formulating land use, periodic monitoring, evaluate land use effects, land precision management, and so on. For macro scales, it's more detailed, including the improvement of soil fertility, soil texture, soil moisture, and the prevention of wind and water erosion, and improvement of saline alkali soil. So this is principle 2. Principle 3 is but rational dependent on science technology, because science and technology have a negative and positive influence. And for example, drip irrigation and can improve the water use efficiency, but it also can encourage the farmers to reclaim the much more land in that. Okay, so we have to be careful to use the science technology and to restore the degraded land. And finally, for the target 3, the poverty eradication, and we also 3 principles. The first is the external input, because for the target, as I said before, the dilemma cannot be resolved without input from outside ecosystems. So, such as financial, technical, and human resources, especially in the poor and degraded regions. So, external input is very, very important when people want to achieve their goals in economic and ecology. And for the second principle is to improve the internal capacity, because the help from outside external cannot exist always. So the local system, local community must improve its ability to realize sustainability and poverty eradication in essential. Finally, truly sustainable restoration of degraded land can be achieved through periodic evaluation. It's very important. And the evaluation including comprehensive evaluation of the ecological, environment, social, economic factors, comprehensive. And based on the results, evaluation results, people can continuously adjustment different restoration methods. So that's all. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. Keep on time. I have one question. What are the biggest obstacles that you find to achieve these sustainability goals?
Restoration of degraded land is not only a matter of for scientists, but also for all mankind. And the misunderstanding, because we know scientists have a correct understanding about degradation and restoration, but not all of the people, especially policy makers, and usually have a wrong misunderstanding about how to restore the degraded land. For example, in China, people and many people and common people, they think only plant trees and is the best way to restore the degraded land. And unfortunately, and the policymakers and they agree this, because for government, for central government or for local government, and they just pursue the short time benefits. They want to see the degraded land restored immediately. So they think maybe the coverage, the plant trees and looks green. So I think this is a very wrong opinion, and this is idea, and I think is a very important, also a large obstacle to hinder the degraded land sustainable restored.
Okay, thank you. And I have saw some studies and examples in the lowest plateau. I don't know if it's in the region that you work, where I saw some very amazing transformations of the landscape that was very degraded, also some case steep slope, into a highly productive system. And could you just tell us a bit how to deal with salinization? Because I think is often a cryptic problem that is not always considered, but can have some several consequences for restoration.
Actually, salinization is a very common problem in drylands due to the high evaporation and irrational water management and water use. So you mentioned how to cope with salinization.
Yes, in your studies, in the actions that you make in your projects, how usually the methods or techniques to deal with salinization?
Yes, actually we use, actually there are many methods to deal with salinization, but in my team and just focus on use the biology methods. For example, we use the local halophytes plants to plant, because different kinds of halophytes can absorb salt from the soil. Mm-hmm. And this is the method is based on nature-based solutions. And we also use the microbe, because we get a microbe from the root system in soil of different halophytes. And we use the microbe and combed halophytes and to plant in the very heavy salinization land. Usually after 5 years or maybe 3 to 5 years, and the salt content can reduce very very good things. After that, we can plant some crops and some pasture grass and can. This is the most important method we used. also we use a different, for example, we can make some sands into the soil, and to change the texture, we also use some different recharge the water systems.
Okay, thank you. And we have one question from the audience. Very interesting presentation. Regarding the Sustainable Development Goals and the efforts awarded under those objectives, the question remains, are we able to achieve those goals by 2030?
Actually, in my opinion, based on the current situation, I don't think we can achieve the target.
Okay, yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah,
okay.
very big challenge.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you. You're welcome.